Hey guys, I'm going to discuss the editorial of problem B, bad boy of Codeforces round 726, Div.2. Relay is a very bad boy, but at the same time, he is a yo-yo master. So he decided to use his yo-yo skills to annoy his friend Anton. So Relay basically wants to annoy his friend Anton by his yo-yo master skills. Anton's room can be represented as a grid with n rows and m columns. You can represent Anton's room in form of a grid that consists of n rows and m columns. Let I, j denote the cell in row I and column j. You can consider I, j cell that's lying basically in row I and column j. Anton is currently standing at position I, j in his room. This is the Anton's current position I, j in his room. To annoy Anton, Relay decided to throw exactly 2 yo-yos in cells of the room. So he can throw these 2 yo-yos in the same cell or in the different cells of that room. Because Anton doesn't like yo-yos thrown on the floor, he has to pick up both of them and return back to the initial position. एंटन को ये पसंद नहीं है कि फ्लोर पर योयोस पड़े रहें, सो वो उनको पिक करता है एंड अपनी पोजीशन पे वापस आ जाता है. He returns back to the initial position. The distance traveled by Anton is the shortest path that goes through the positions of both yo-yos and returns back to I, j by traveling only to adjacent by side cells. That is, if he is in cell x, y, then he can travel to the cells x plus y. Alright, let's say Anton is standing here in this grid, which is basically his room in the form of this grid that consists of n rows and m columns. This is the position of Anton. I'm assuming Anton is standing here right now. And let's suppose 2 yo-yos are placed at this cell and at this cell. These are the 2 yo-yos. Let me write that, yo-yos, which have been thrown by his friend Relay. Now Anton have 4 possible choices to move to these 2 yo-yos. So Anton have these 4 possible choices. He can move upwards, downwards, leftwards or rightwards. Relay is wondering where he should throw these 2 yo-yos so that the distance traveled by Anton is maximized. But because he is very busy, he asked you to tell him. तो रिले का गोल यही है कि वो योयोस को ऐसी डिस्टेंसेस पर फेंकना चाहता है उन सेल्स के अंदर सो दैट द डिस्टेंस ट्रेवल्ड बाय द एंटन इज मैक्सिमाइज्ड, ताकि एंटन को ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा डिस्टेंस ट्रेवल करनी पड़े. दिस इज व्हाट रिले वांट्स. सो यू हैव टू मैक्सिमाइज द डिस्टेंस. सो यू हैव टू थ्रो दिस योयोस एट सच अ डिस्टेंस so that the anton is traveling the maximum possible distance. This is the input, key test cases, n, m, I, j. Alright. In output, you will be printing 4 integers x1, y1, x2, y2. This is the range 10 raised to the power 9. Alright. So you will have to solve this problem in order 1. Let me make you understand this problem by showing the code. You will better understand with the help of code. N is basically rows, m is columns. I, j is the current position of Anton. If your n is 1 but your m is greater than equals to 1, that basically means, let's say your number of rows are 1 and but your m is either greater than 1 or equals to 1. Let's say n is 1, your m is 3. Alright, there are 3 columns and 1 row. Let me make the grid. Let's say Anton is standing at 1, 1. Now you need to maximize the distance. You want to throw these 2 yo-yos at such a position so that Anton is traveling the maximum distance. You can observe that Anton can travel max up to this cell. After that, he will return back his initial position. So you can place the second yo-yo at this position, x2, y2, and you can place first yo-yo either on this position or on this position. Alright, so I'm just simply putting at this position. This is x1, y1. Let's say your n is 1 and m is also 1. In that condition, you will throw both these yo-yos in the same cell, which is 1, 1. So x1 would be 1, x2 would be 1, y1 would be 1, and y2 would be 1. These will be the coordinates of both these yo-yos Relay will be throwing. So this is the first case. I'm writing x1 equals n, which is 1. So x1 को 1 append हो जाएगा, by 1 is also 1, x2 is also 1, but your by 2 would be m. You can go max up to these number of columns. Alright, we have seen that here m is 3 and n is 1, so we are going up to maximum 3 columns. So that's what I've written here. By 2 would be m, if this is the case. Else if your m is 1 or n is greater than equals to 1, then you can go max till n. Alright, so your x1 would be m, that means x1 is 1, by 1 is 1, x2 is by 2 is also 1, but your x2 would be n. Alright, so this is the second case. Let's see this case. If both n and m are greater than 1. Alright, let's say n is 3, m is 7. Number of rows are 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Number of columns are 6, m is 6. And let's say Anton is standing at this position. Then you have to maximize the distance traveled by the Anton. You can throw first yo-yo at this position or at this position, and you can throw the second yo-yo either on this position or at this position. So if you throw your first yo-yo at this position, and if you throw the second yo-yo at this position, and if you count the distance traveled by the Anton, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now he will have to come back to his initial position. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Alright, it is taking 14 steps. So the idea is you have to place both these two yo-yos in the opposite direction. So if your Anton is standing, let's say here, then you would place the first yo-yo at this position, and you would place the second yo-yo somewhere at this position or at this position. So Anton पहले यहाँ जाएगा, backwards जाएगा, then Anton will come forwards. So if you want to maximize the distance traveled by the Anton, तो अगर हमारा n and m both are greater than 1, then we can just simply maximize the distance traveled by the Anton by placing one yo-yo towards the backward position of the Anton and one yo-yo towards the forward position of Anton. So I am placing the first yo-yo at this position or on this position, and the second yo-yo will be placed at this position. That means one yo-yo is placed here, somewhere here at the very end, so that's backward, and other yo-yo is placing in the forward direction. That's what I have written here. So my x1 would be n minus x1, and by 1 is n minus x1. So I'm always placing first yo-yo at 1, 1, and I'm placing the second yo-yo at n, m position. That means I'm maximizing the distance. So Anton will first go here, then he will have to move forward to reach towards this yo-yo, then he will come backward to its position. And in the end, I'm just printing all these 4 integers, x1 by 1, x2 by 2. Yeah, so that's it for today. If you have any doubt in understanding this problem, you can just comment down your doubt and I'll be happy to answer your query.